Hello, my dudes. Today we're going to review a snus. Islay Whiskey snus. A loose snus, which is fun to say. Here we go. So today's snus is neither this one nor this one, but rather this one. Islay Whiskey snus. Let's go ahead and pop it open so you guys can take a look at it. I have been into this can already. All right, so a loose snus, which you usually want to be slightly wet. This one, so it's got this whiskey added. It does come slightly wetter than I find ideal for longer use. That's not a big deal. I might let it dry out just the slightest touch before use. But if you're familiar with loose snus, so snus, first of all, it's a traditional Swedish tobacco treated with salt and one other mineral, I forget, but it doesn't generate spit, so it's great for indoor use. And I do love some loose snus. Now, if it's not loose, if it's portioned, then it'll come in a little sachet like that. All right. For the loose stuff, you're just going to grab a little ball, pinch, pinch. Okay, so I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put this in the palm of my hand, give it a little squeeze, and then what's called baking it. So I formed a little ball. Now I'm going to sit on it with, pinching it, kind of squeezing out a little bit of the liquid. So for about 10 seconds. Okay, so now I've formed this tight little pellet, this little mouse poop. Okay, and this will prevent it from going crumbly in my mouth. Put it between the gum and the lip. And the smell of whiskey with this particular snus really permeates the whole room. This is the kind of thing that you could pop open and people will notice, which is fun. I would describe a standard, like strong, loose snus flavor is almost like a fermented blackberry with a bit of bitterness. It's sort of hard to describe this fundamental flavor. And of course, using blackberry is complicated because blackberry is actually a very popular flavor to add and even lay as a base over a lot of snuses. But that's what I would say. The standard snus flavor that this whiskey is on top of is of a fermented blackberry. And then, the smell of whiskey, as I said, is very strong. The flavor, there is sort of a suggestion of, the tears of angels of whiskey vapor in the mouth. But, I think it's more from the smell, of course, the olfactory and flavor. What would that be? Lingual? Suboral? Anyway, the olfactory and the taste, of course, they're they're mixed together thoroughly. But you definitely get a whiskey flavor. It's just very airy, very vapory, which I quite like. This is one of my favorite loose snoozes. As I mentioned, it can sometimes be a little moist, but that's easy enough. Leave the tin open for a few minutes once, and then when you bake it, give it a good bake. Highly recommended. This is from the same guys who offer the whole line of Odin stuff, as far as I know. All right, well, thanks so much for watching this review. I hope you find it helpful and sweet tobaccoing.
Aí sim é um homem de verdade, não é esses troços do grupo não, essas carcaças velhas, uó, fim de carreira.
Cadê você, profeta, autarquia? Hein? Pedrada no inferno, fala comigo aí, matador de demônio.